Which were 10 years later over the Justice Catherine Bamugemereire's land committee,
Yes.
which you were part of.
Yes.
10 years later, you gave out a very wonderful report.
Yes, a very good report.
And very good recommendations.
Yes.
So if none of your recommendations comes to life or is implemented, honestly speaking, what dangers do you see coming ahead?
We are going to have a problem in the future, a big one, if government does not come out properly and plan land usage.
Wow. Well, the Leaders Podcast, People, Purpose and Progress, with me, Simon Chris Makanga. Before we dive into this great conversation, I want to remind you of some of the fears that I have about land. This is a major fact. Land is the major factor of production. But the challenge is land does not increase in size. But human beings, we increase in population every day. In Uganda, the history of land is somehow known, but if I might speak to it a little bit, when the population was below 1 million people, land looked to be so big. But initially, it was owned by my uncle has this land, he gives to a friend, and that's how they started owning land. So when the missionaries came in, they decided to demarcate this land. And that's how we came up with land tenures like freehold, maido, lease, and customary. This is where we are. So today I've come to fetch some wisdom from Owek Robert Ssebunya. You are once a member of parliament. You are presidential advisor on Buganda matters.
Yes.
I mean, you have served this country so dearly.
Yes.
Owek, it's a pleasure to have you on this conversation.
Thank you very much, and I'm also happy to receive you at my home.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Why I picked out on you to help me answer this land question. You were part of the 7 people committee that was selected by President Museveni.
Yes.
Under Justice Catherine Bamugemereire committee.
Yes.
This question is quite dear to me.
Yes.
My parents tell me buy land.
Yes.
Buy land.
Yes.
And it's a big deal. Yes, I need to buy land. And then I keep on asking myself,
yes,
if all of us are going to have 100 by 50, 100 by 50, an acre, until when?
Yes.
But that aside, I was asking myself, how did we get there?
Yes.
How, honestly, like how?
Yes.
How did we get there?
Yes.
And I found out that we had the absent landlords.
Yes.
So some of them went abroad. And when they came back after 40, 50 years, they found tenants or squatters on their land.
Yeah.
And
but their land ownership certificate was there. Yes, in the land office.
Yes. And then this person tells me, wait, I have been on this land for 40 years.
Yeah.
My father
gave
birth to me on this land.
Yes.
My grandfather was on this land.
Yes.
My late grandfather was on this land.
Yes.
Then how do you kick me out of the land?
Exactly. In 1925, I think, the governor then appointed a similar committee to review the land issue. And I think that is how what you've been describing, the tenure system came about. And ever since, things have not been going well with land. And then when President Museveni went to the bush and came back victory and reinstated the kingdoms and the cultural institutions, things had to change. Because the cultural institutions had land. And there were a lot of people on those estates. The law had to be looked at. Does the Chivanja person, should he suffer when a landlord comes and says, get off my land? Should we go like that, or should we go like that? No. That's the answer to me is no. So President Museveni then thought, let us look at it critically and find solutions to the land issue once for all. That's why that committee of Justice Bamugemereire was appointed.
Came into existence.
And I was happy to be on that committee.
Owek was, sorry for cutting you short, allow me to take you back a little bit.
Yes.
Before President Museveni formed that committee,
Yes.
I would like you to shed for me the picture
Yes.
of how bad the problem was. When he called you for the appointment, as a leader, he must have shaded a picture for you that this is the current problem.
Yeah.
And I would like you to shed for us, what was that problem that the president saw?
I think the problem of land was a serious one. Everybody, every Ugandan knew there was a problem somewhere with the land. Every day you will read landlord have kicked out Bibanja owners. So and so, Bibanja owner have sold land without the knowledge of the landlord. So there were a lot of problems.
Land issues.
Land issues. And there were killings as well. You know, you find the people fighting over land issues.
And
so the president felt that no, this we cannot go on with this. Let us have a team of experienced persons. Let them give us the lead. What should we do?
What was his first assignment to you and your team?
Well, we had an agenda. The question was, should we continue with the way land is being handled?
Managed.
So the answer was no.
No.
Should we find a solution to that problem? The answer was yes. And I think that is why that commission was appointed. Now, the president, in his wisdom, felt that the Bibanja owners were being persecuted by the
absent landlords.
Well, one of them by absent landlords, and by also landlords who owned land and living in this country, not abroad. But they said, "Don't. This land is for my children. Get off." You know. So the president said, "No, we've got to find a solution." And that's why some of our recommendations in the report, although I'm restricted not to reveal much, because the report was for the president. The president appointed us. We had to hand over the report to whom, which we did. And the president had to read it, form his opinion, and then recommend to the cabinet, and then later on to Parliament.
Which table allow me speak to your activities when
Sorry?
you were allow me speak to your activities
Yes.
while you were traversing this country
Yes.
and trying to solve the problem of land. What was one of your greatest experience?
The landlords were largely suffering in that the tenants in view of the president's messages, several messages in his meet the people tours. No, don't just kick tenants off your land. Sometimes negotiate with them, or if you want, buy them off, or if you want, give them part of your land and take a bit of it, you know. So that has been the trend, and we picked it also in our report that landlords have got a right on their land, and also the tenants have got a right to stay on their land, on this land, because sometimes when you buy that land, you are told, yes, there are people on that land. And when you buy it, when you know that there are people there. So you just can't come out and say, look, this is my land, I bought it, get off. No. That is not the way things should be handled. So the government had to look at what do we do in view of the population growth. Do we control population growth?
Or we control the land?
Or we come out with a policy on land so that we can accommodate both sides, those who are coming up and those who are already there, you know, and those who will be born later on. Because we are going to have a problem.
True.
A big one.
So do you think your recommendations, and one of them that you haven't mentioned, one of the other greatest recommendations was you say there should be an urgent registration of
government land. Yes. That is very, very important.
Do you think
so that we know that this land in Kampala is owned by government? But he goes in the land office, who owns that land? Sometimes they won't know, when in fact it is the government land. They have a department of survey. It has been there for years. You know, the survey has been there for years. And in it were very professional people who knows what to do. You know, not this type we have these days. Those were professional surveyors, first class. They will do the job thoroughly and very, 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 very well, precise. You know, but they never. You go all. That's why when you go in the north, you can have you find somebody has got over 2, 3, 4 miles of land. Government this is government land. Government never surveyed it. It is free. So the politicians come and they can take the whole village.
Just like that?
Yes. And because of this new tenants
agreement,
the Miro land, the what did you call it, the other one?
The freehold.
Freehold.
The land tenures. Customary and
yes.
Milo, yes.
Yeah. Somebody can say this is. He goes to land office and apply for freehold.
And takes on government land.
And they will give it to him.
Do you think...
And those people there, he has bought the land, 6 acres, 6 miles. We saw 6 miles, somebody owning
6 miles?
Yeah.
For the government?
No, private.
Private.
Private. But certainly, there should have been a government land somewhere.
And there's no development on the land.
Yeah, and you will find that even the district, where the district is headquartered,
It's
that the
rented.
land is not even surveyed.
Wow.
That's why you find encroachers.
Wow.
So there's a lot of work which Ministry of Lands and Survey must handle quickly.
Which were 10 years later of the Justice Catherine Bamugemereire's Land Committee,
Yes,
which you were part of.
yes,
10 years later,
yes.
you submitted a very wonderful report
Yes.
with very great
Are we 10
recommendations.
years already?
2016? Almost 10 years.
Yeah, is it? Well, you may be right.
Hey, the commission was instituted in 2016
Yes,
also.
yes.
Yes, almost 10 years.
Yes, yeah.
You gave out a very wonderful report
Yes, a very good report.
and very good recommendations.
Yes.
So if none of your recommendations comes to life or is implemented, honestly speaking, Owek, what dangers do you see coming ahead?
Well, you see, the president, in his own wisdom, said, no, maybe he said, no, hold on that. Hold on that. He may have his own ideas why. Yes. Otherwise, the report was very good. But
Do you think it went to dust?
he has picked some ideas from our own report.
As-
But we would like to see that the whole entire report is discussed by the parliament and law, where amendments of the law as far as the land is concerned are carried out. But at the moment,
is there any
the
that has
document
been?
is there with a lot of good ideas, but nothing has been done.
Really, completely nothing.
Nothing.
Do you think it went to dust?
Sorry?
Do you think the recommendations went to dust?
No, I think, as I said, some of the ideas in some of the recommendations, I think the president has read it, and I think he's using.
Do you think it was a good job well done?
As far as we are concerned, yes, we did a very good job. The government spent money on us, a lot of money on us,
Indeed.
and I think we were committed and obliged to do a good job. We were servant of the nation. We had to be worth the value the president gave
The money.
in us.
At what time Parliament raised an inquiry?
Now, we are waiting the parliament to judge us, judge our work. We are waiting for that. But I think some of these ideas are found in our own reports, which are being.
How does that make you feel, honestly speaking, Owek?
Well, I would have expected as a commissioner that the president should have read that report and submitted to the land ministry, requested them to write a white paper on some of the recommendations, sent it to cabinet. Cabinet discusses it, and then the minister responsible present it to the parliament for discussion, and also recommend what the result of the report, what should be amended, what laws should be enacted to ensure that the land land is properly administered.
Wow.
Yes.
The Leaders Podcast, People, Purpose and Progress. If you have come this far, it means you are part of this conversation. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe.
Yes.
Now, I want us to seal this topic of land.
Yes.
But Owek, I would like to extend the same fears
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
Just like I said from the beginning,
Yes.
that we are increasing in population,
Yes.
and land doesn't increase.
Yes.
I would like you to look into this camera.
Yes.
Speak to us,
Yes.
basing on your recommendations, together with the team that you worked with,
Yeah.
and you as a leader in this country. I know you worry about the next generation, right?
Yes. Yes.
Share with us some wisdom, basing on the recommendations and what you wish should be done. In about a minute, speak to the country, then we go to something else.
Well, thank you for that question. The issue of land is a critical one. It's going to be handled with care, bearing in mind that the population is growing and the land is not growing. Because land is not elastic. You're not going to pull it up to there. No. It is there where it is. It cannot go any further. You know. So government has got a lot of responsibility to ensure that the next generation must have where, first of all, to stay. Population where birth rate was 3% at one stage. We were the highest in the whole world. You know, so you got to, I hope that has been reduced. But if it has not reduced, then we are going to have a problem in the future if government does not come out properly and plan land usage.
Wow.
Land usage is important.
People, purpose, and progress.
Sorry?
I mean, the conversation is about people, purpose, and progress.
Yes, exactly. You're going to have a lot of problems because, and the demands are there. Education is also going up, is no longer. People finish primary, O-level, A-level, university, masters, doctorates. That is the aim. So they would like to live better. Where is the land? Where is the land?
That's a big question.
So that's the question. That's why our report is important. They should read it and say, yes, Bamugemeire's report said this. Can we try it? Can we see how we can implement so that we plan for the future, we plan for the next generation? We are 60 million people now.
Yes.
Within a very short time.
40 years.
At the time, 40 years. At the time when independence, we were 2 million. I think we were 2 million. At the time of the independence.
In 62.
62. 60 years.
By 86, we are 14.
Yeah. At 86, we were 14. Today,
We are over 60.
exactly. So you have a serious problem.
Wow.
So the government look at the birth rate. Now, we wouldn't like to go and confront the church because that is God's plan. If Robert Ssebunya is to have children, he will have children. But I don't know whether the government has got a right to say, Robert Ssebunya, you should not have more than 3 children. Other countries doing, like India, for instance. We don't want to go that far. But then something must be done to plan. The Ministry of Planning must do its work.
Ministry of National Planning.
Together, yes, together with the Ministry of Lands. That's one. Secondly, land. Where is that land? There should be government land, as I said earlier, should be surveyed quickly. Government should put money to say, now in this budget, we are going to put so much money for the government to survey its land. And then the government also orders government corporations to survey their land also. So the rest, and the corporation, to survey their land. The rest then will be land which is available to the general population. Districts, they should survey their land. You know, so that we know we have so much land. Then we can plan for it. But at the moment, we don't know.
Where are we heading?
Where are we heading? That should be the answer, the question. Where are we heading? Where we are heading, we don't know.
If factors remain constant,
yeah.
Where are we heading?
We don't know, because the problem is there. You've not solved the problem. So you don't have, the area is closed.
Yeah. Now let's go to the other side of the conversation, because the podcast or these conversations are all about people, purpose, and progress.
Yes.
So we believe in transforming followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change.
Yes, exactly.
So you are an agent of change. By the time you are selected by the president to cause change in a country or to bring sanity in the matters of land, that's great wisdom. And that's great change. So, you've been also a member of parliament.
Yes, I
You were
have.
presidential advisor.
Yes.
You worked for still a presidential. Do you get salary?
Yes. Sorry?
Do they pay you salary?
Yes, they do.
To be a presidential advisor?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
I'm a senior presidential advisor.
Do you ever talk to him?
Sorry?
Do you ever talk to the
Oh,
president?
yes, I do.
Others don't.
Well,
advisors are struggling to meet the president.
I don't know. Some people have their way, method of work. Me, when I was appointed, I consulted. Said, this is a new job. What do I do? Said, you've got to do this. When there is a problem, you write to the president. You send it to the PPS. PPS will send it to the president. The president, after reading it, will direct the PPS to contact you and give you the message from the president, or advise you, go and see so and so. Others don't do it. But that very question you asked, we had a president, senior, and advisors conference in Chakwans. And that problem came up. And the minister responsible for us, Babaranda, said, now look, if you have written to the president and the president has not respond, you give me your brief. Give it to me. I'll make sure that I pass it over to the president.
Now, Owek, make me understand, together with the people watching this. I've always been curious to understand this. If the president appoints you as his advisor, are you the one to write to him, or he calls you when he needs you?
No, president advisor, he may ask you, look, give me your advice on this issue.
He may call you.
He even write to you that I would like to advise me on this. So you go out and make your own research, right back. That's one. Or your part, when you see something, because you are with the public, when they know that you're public, you are a
Presidential
senior
advisor.
advisor, they will come to you. Say, look, there is this problem. Is the president aware? There is this problem. So you make your own judgment. If you think the president should know, you write.
You write to him.
You write to him. Write to him and say, for instance, there was an incident when the president is going somewhere, they will stop the cars for hours. Now, some people came here and said, look, tell the president, please, what will happen to our wives if they are to deliver? And you stop them for 4 hours, they will deliver in the car. That's not right. So I wrote to him, and I said, Your Excellency, people are thinking like that. And I think there is now a change. But little did I know that the issue came in the parliament. I think, the issue came in the parliament. Exactly
After you had written?
What I had written came out in the parliament. The member of parliament from either Sese is the one who raised it.
How did that make you feel?
Sorry?
How did that make you feel?
Well, I was happy that, first of all, the president reacted, and I think he's no longer, I think he must have told his people that, look.
Owek,
Yes.
one of your greatest contribution is, as before we came for this, before we started the conversation,
Yes.
you said you started the Uganda Heart Foundation,
Yes.
which later gave birth to Uganda Heart Institute.
Yes.
And you said, yesterday when we talked on the phone, you are going for a medical appointment.
Yes, exactly.
In the same institute.
In the same institution.
And I'm wondering, you must be feeling so proud
Yes.
when you enter there,
Yes.
that this was your achievement.
Yes.
Where you are, where most people could say you are in your evening.
Yes.
How would you measure success, and what's life?
Well, first of all, how did the Uganda Heart Institute come about? Uganda Heart Institute, or Uganda Heart Foundation, came about when my father died of a heart attack at Chengera. He did not know that he has got a heart problem. Now, he was an educated person. My father was the first Secretary General of the Democratic Party in 1954. He's called John Kasule.
May he so rest in peace.
Yeah. Now, is such a person to die abruptly of heart problems?
It raised so many question marks and eyebrows.
It sent me signals that then there must be a lot of other people
Going through the same.
who die without knowing that they have the same problem. Because my father, I was in exile then, but my father went to my office. He telephoned me, and I told him, Daddy, I was going to South Africa. We are looking for guns to remove Amin. I did not want to tell him that I was going to South Africa. So I said, okay, I'm traveling, Daddy. I'll see you when I come back.
How old were you then?
Sorry?
How old were you then?
I think I must have been around 35.
Wow.
Yes, around 35. And Museveni was, I was at, I think about 37, and Museveni was about 34, 35. Because I'm older. I'm older than him. Yes. So I went to South Africa. When I came back, when I was there, my wife telephoned me that Daddy has died. So I came back. But I did not come here. I was in Nairobi. But then I realized, at that time, Njonjo, who was Attorney General of Kenya, had started the Kenya Heart Foundation. Again, because his father
Had died of the heart problem.
had died of heart attack.
Whoa.
So I picked it.
You got inspired.
Sorry?
You got an inspiration.
Yes, I got that signal. Let me, when I go back to Uganda, this is what I will start with.
What's your message to the young generation?
My message to the young generation is, first of all, you must have a sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging. What do you mean?
You come from a family. Support that family. Support it. Don't be swayed away because you're in town and you forget where you come from.
Is that your secret to life?
Sorry?
Is that your secret to life?
It is important.
It's important.
Very, very important. Because ultimately, that's where you will go.
When all things go south.
When God says, I want you, come. Robert Ssebunya, I need you in this tiki. There's nothing you can do. You go.
What do you fear the most?
And then you go down there. In your village where you were born. Secondly, you must serve your nation. You must serve your nation.
That's dear.
I want to give you an example. Diana, Diana of Israel. His father and her mother. He was 9 years old. His father and her mother were called to go and fight for the existence of Israel. They told Diana, Diana, that he was 9 years old, that we are leaving you, your sister, look after them. Those goats you see, that is what you will get the money from to keep those people. We have gone. And they went 9 years, they never came back. But Diane stayed there. And by the time they came back, the children were up, went to school, So that is what I'm saying. Commitment to your nation is important. Thirdly, if you belong to an institution like I belong to my religion, I support my religion. I'm a Catholic and that's what I am. You cannot say anything else. And I believe in my Kabaka and my clan system. This is the message I give to the youth. Because they have to work hard. There's nothing for free. They have to study hard. But at the back of all what they are doing, they should not forget home.
What's the secret to life?
Sorry?
What is the secret to life?
Secret to life? God-fearing, first of all. When you believe in God, your heart will always be
peaceful,
happy.
How does it feel to be where you are? How does it feel to be where you are?
He has not come by just like that on a plate. No, I've worked hard for it. That's what I'm saying. Don't forget where you come from. And don't forget that you have to work for your nation.
Wow.
Don't forget that the nation, you should not ask the nation to do for you.
Ask what you can do for the nation.
So I'm happy about the Uganda Heart Institute.
Wow. Wow. Wekitiibwa.
Right.
Kankyogere na mu Luganda. Ebigambo by'otuwadde
Yes, sir.
sagaana kubyongerako. Olw'ensonga kankyogere mu Luganda.
Yes.
Tobuuza ki ky'oyagala gavumenti ekukolere.
Yes.
Wabula weebuuze kiki kyenyinza okukolera gavumenti. That's deep. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much for the wisdom that you've given us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the reception.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for picking my calls.
Thank you.
Even when I've been disturbing you, you've been picking my calls and we've been talking until...
This home is yours. This home, my dear, is yours. And whenever you think I can be of some help, some discussion with you, please.
Thank you for always opening that gate for me.
Call me.
Thank you. And may God keep you for us.
Thank you.
May He give you old age.
Thank you.
May you enjoy your old age.
I'm 83 now.
83.
Yes.
83.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm 83.
Friends, thank you so much for being part of this conversation.
Yes.
May the good Lord of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob be with you until we meet in another video. But remember, don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you.
Be part of this community and let's grow one another. Until then,
thank you.
Bye-bye.